Alright, ladies and gentlemen, and those out there who are currently in that little musical box that's playing the music just in case you go too long for your award speeches, welcome back to the 2021 Indy Awards. And before you say anything, Maestro, it's Billy Nye, the guy who was involved in the Underworld films and was also the guy who played Davy Jones in the Pirates of the Caribbean movie series, and even the guy who played the head devil in the movie I, Frankenstein, not Bill Nye the Science Guy. You need to get that out of your head. And I got a feeling if he heard you say that, he'll probably hurt you for it. And speaking of people who would get hurt in an instant, folks, it's time for us to go into probably one of our most painful awards of the night, none other than the Golden Cast Award, or an award we're gonna call for this year in the loving memory of Ricky the Raccoon, the Ricky the Raccoon Award of Excellence. And according to what the Maestro said, Ricky the Raccoon is still in the hospital after getting stuck into the grill of that truck 2 years ago. Yikes. But back to the award, folks. This award is handed out to any of the crazy stunners out there who tried to get themselves maimed for unnecessary fame and ended up in the hospital like poor Ricky the Raccoon did. Only in his case, he didn't get an award for it. Instead, he got a toe tag and most likely a whole bunch of hospital food fed to him through a tube. Just like some of these nominees. So, Dan the Weatherman Stu, if you will, please read the nominees for this year's Golden Cast Award. I sent Ricky the Raccoon some flowers by the way before I start. Oh, you did? Well, we know that now, so just go ahead and read the nominees. All right! Here are your nominees for this year's Golden Cast Award. Archangel 3327 with his said stunt epic crash won. Right off a bridge. Yeah, Dan the Weatherman Stu, he flew right off a bridge when a car who did not know how to signal or move hit him while he was going to his biker club down the road. And not to mention with the fact that he flew off that cliff didn't make the Goofy scream, but at the same time looked like he did what appeared to be a, 450 or a 730 off that bridge? Yeah, very painful. And by the way, as a little bit of an update, still in the hospital. Gummy Vitamin with their stunt GTA 5 epic parkour Phil. He's gonna need a dentist. Once again, Dan the Weatherman Stu, you are right, because this guy, to quote my mom, would rock his snot box right directly on the top of a cargo freight carrier box that was his target to try to jump over. But unfortunately, he judged the distance of it wrong, didn't jump far enough, and landed right square on his nose and teeth, only to fall back first on the ground. And if you're wondering out there, yeah, his jaw is still wired shut. Ugh. Dirt Kevin with his stunt from the video game Last Man Sitting. Chair likes stunts. Yeah, then the Weatherman Stu, a lot of crazy stunts involving an office chair that would remind me of something out of Tony Hawk. I mean, he was doing great. He did a kickflip, a Christ air, and was even able to do, I think, a nollie of sorts. But unfortunately, when he got too bold for chips, when he hit that lower level, he would slide on his face and the front of his two-piece suit, which would soon become his suit that he would wear straight to the hospital or to the grave if he had to hit that office chair on the way down, but he didn't. Luckily for him, but not that lucky because he needed a lot of, facial reconstructive surgery after he landed on his face. And not to mention at least second-degree burns from sliding on the ground. Ugh, man, it gets worse. No matter how many times we mention it, it gets worse every time we bring it up on this said show, folks. Hellraiser TH with their stunt extreme pool jump. Making a splash. Yeah, he made a splash all right, but not the splash he was looking for, and I think the moral of the story for this said stunt is always know how deep the pool you're jumping in is, because if you don't like this guy, let's just say when you hit into the pool, you'll hit the bottom of the pool and then just float there like if he was dead. Which, according to what the doctor said right next to me, who's wearing a whole bunch of fancy suits for the award show, he was clinically dead for about a good 10 minutes before they brought him to the hospital. Yikes! Dante Thomas, 89, with his stunt backflip fail, GTA 5. Haha! More like F5 by the way he spun around that pool. You know, Dan the Weatherman Stu, you're right. And the fact that it did look like he got an F5 by a pole, despite the fact that this guy had the two winning formulas of doing a cool stunt, which is speed, height, and velocity, but the one part of the formula of the winning stunt he was missing was control. And unfortunately, the second he made it to the other side of this ravine over the said highway, he would unfortunately lose control and wrap his spine around a steel beam, more or less like the Thanksgiving food you had left over in your fridge. Yeah, the same way. Except that instead of saran wrap or any of those name brand things that we can't mention on the air, it wrapped around that pole and more or less paralyzed them. As a matter of fact, that's the update we have for you folks. He's paralyzed. Yikes. Miss Tinkleberg with their stunt, Project 34. Pounds. Period. Wait a minute, what do you know about Monty Brown, Dan the Weatherman Stu? Did, the maestro tell you anything about him? Apparently you have. And since you know about the pounds, you obviously know that Miss Tinkleberg here, who obviously wanted to be a part of another award for the night, decided to go ahead and take out a firefighter with a burnt car, sending the car careening right to the side of the head of this firefighter and watching him slide directly into a car, watching as he lied motionless on the ground. And for those who are wondering out there, if it hadn't been for the extinguisher on his back, his neck would have broken and he would have died on the scene. But instead, let's just say he's still recovering at home with a feeding tube and a catheter in him. Yikes. I mean, it's better than the alternatives, but at the same time, come on. There was no need to T-bone this man with a car like that. And oh, let me say it right. There was no need for you to T-bone him like that. Next nominee, Dan the Weatherman Stu. Teammate 21 with their stunt. Ouch! Now that's painful. And yeah, you're right. This is probably one of the most painful stunts of the year that we mentioned. And it all involves a guy who decided to go ahead and say, hey man, I'm gonna dive from the top of this plane right off the pier. Let's see what happens. And what happened? Let's just say he dislocated his shoulder and nearly broke his collarbone in sixes. And I can't properly describe this said stunt, folks. You have to see it with your own eyes because this guy nearly tore his shoulder off and it was disgusting. Ooh. And not to mention the fact that he tried to dive again and nearly broke his brains. Yeah. There's no words for this. If he doesn't win an award tonight, I don't know what to say. And speaking of somebody winning the award, Dan the Weatherman Stu, if you will, please read the winner for this year's Golden Cast Award. Man, I'm still getting shivers from that guy breaking his shoulder. And the winner for this year's Golden Cast Award is, drum roll please, Der_Kev with his said stunt, from the video game Last Man Standing. But wait, there's one attached to it saying ouch by teammate 21. A two-way tie. Congratulations. Wait a minute, a two-way tie, hold on. Well, of course it is. Wow. The fact that you fans out there voted for this stunt and somebody breaking their neck on an office chair, says a lot. Didn't know it would get a tie, but hey, what could you do? So with that said, folks, and with them having to share the award or most likely having to split it in half, which conveniently it does split in half because the award is broken just like their bodies, I think it's time for us to head back into that music once again, and when we return, we'll be back with more awards to hand out from the 2021 7th Annual Indy Awards right after a word from our sponsors. So don't go anywhere just yet, folks, and stay tuned.